Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I haven't posted in like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I believe. I'm not sure, I might be wrong. Yeah, but I just thought I'd post something related to law. I don't know if anyone's picked up throughout my videos that I studied law at university, which was like a good maybe 6 or 7 years ago in Birmingham, UK. When I started my law degree, I was pretty sure I was just going to do that one exclusively, but in my final year I decided to study law with criminology and obviously make my criminology my minor. I did, however, come out with an honours degree, which means that I got all the 8 foundational modules that you need to have a qualifying law degree. Okay, so I do have a qualifying law degree, but I have criminology as a minor, so I do know some bits and bobs in criminology. And in my A levels also I did sociology. I studied law in college as well, in my A levels, and I did English literature and language as well. I did do a bit of history, but I think I had an E or something like that. It was, my grades were really bad then. Not that it'd be any better now, but I've always been sort of like an average student, and I'm talking about this one in terms of people perceiving law students as like the smartest people in the room or whatever. Don't get me wrong, law students are super smart. There is a lot of reading, there is a lot of analysis of information, there is a lot of critique of your work, even for your own self, do you know what I mean? And then obviously lecturers and examiners and whatnot. So it's a lot of detailed look at your work and a lot of scrutiny that sometimes challenges the kind of or the quality of work that you produce. So law students are super aware of those kinds of things, and so they produce most of the time the best work compared to some other areas in academics. And I think law is very much a policy, I don't want to say policy oriented work, but there is some sort of policy work in it, and we see it very much applicable in our daily lives. Almost every industry has a law department or whatever, but that is besides the point. But when I was in uni, I don't think I had a clear understanding as to what I wanted to do with my degree afterwards. I really genuinely assumed that by the time I finished my law degree, there'd be a job waiting. I'd have so much ease, applying for jobs and getting somewhere, and that has not really been my reality, to be honest with you. I haven't actually had any law related role since I graduated, and this is 6 to 7 years. It's a bit of a shame, but it's also a blessing as well, because you can't always perceive things from a negative perspective, you see. This video, I'm hoping that it will be like, I don't know, an awakening for some people who think, I want to pursue law, so I'm just going to go and do a law degree. Meanwhile, you don't have any real prospects, or you don't have any, okay, that's a bit harsh, you don't have any real ambition to pursue that field, or you don't even know, you haven't even counted the cost that is involved in pursuing a law degree. By the way, for those of you who are watching, most of the things that I'm going to be saying are going to be relevant to UK people only, because I haven't lived in any part of the world, pursuing law. So I don't know how it works in other countries. But what I can say is that for those of you who are studying law, don't assume you're going to get a job immediately after your course, because that will probably not happen. This is just like many other areas of academics as well. I mean, it's not just law, it's in the science, it's in the marketing, it's in the business, HR, whatever. That being said, obviously, if you feel the need to like divert to another route in your career, there's always a chance to change your mind. But for those who will know for definite that they can't function anywhere else, you need to really have a plan in place before you do decide to study law. Saying that, you cannot always get into other fields of law, of employment, if you have a law degree, because the skills that are involved in studying law opens avenues for other areas. But yeah, it is up to you. I think one thing that people need to consider is that you won't get a job, especially if you live in a town. There's not a lot of law firms situated in towns or unless you live in a city like, say, London, Manchester, Milton Keynes, Leeds, I'm trying to think of maybe Liverpool, most of the areas in between in the Midlands and whatnot, like the most you could find is probably like a family law, wills and estates, wills and probates rather. Those are the the main areas that are concentrated in the little towns, and we know that they don't really like employ a lot of people. They don't have capacity or room to employ a lot of law people. So the truth is, by the time you finish your law degree and you come back into your town or wherever you live, you're probably not going to get a job, and you're gonna have to I don't want to say resort, but you're gonna have to take another opportunity that is probably not law. And by the time you realize you've worked years doing something else that is completely not law related, which is not a bad thing. But if you really want to pursue law, I would recommend you live in a city, one of these places that I've mentioned. I'm sure there are other places outside of England. I mean, Glasgow, even Northern Ireland, Belfast, they've got loads and loads of law firms that you can work at. I think you should also be prepared for rejection. That's another point. Yeah, I've applied for so many law jobs, yeah. And I can't get through. It probably has something to do with the 2-2 that I got, but I know a lot of people who are 2-2s as well who have jobs, or it could probably be other factors that people can mention race, people can just mention inexperience, people can mention the fact that you do not go to private schools, or you're probably not, like, I don't know, it could be literally be any reason why you're not getting by. I think for those who really want to do law, it's on you at this point to pursue it and just keep going, irrespective of the challenges and the rejections that you keep, because it has no chance, not chance rather, it has no choice. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. It has when you keep pushing and you keep knocking on the door, it has no choice but to open. Whoever is behind it, if they hear it, and that's if they hear it, or when they hear it, they will eventually open the door for you. It does take time, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there are times that I've just been like, I don't want to do law on a level, but yeah, it's one of those things that if you're really, hell-bent on pursuing, that you've got to keep pushing. I think another thing that you've got to be aware of is the systematic, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say systematic racism, prejudice, and some of the things that are in the legal field. I mean, it's literally in every sector, but in the legal field, you're more predisposed to, is it old peer thing? I don't know what it's called, but like basically people who are old boy network. That's it. That's what I was looking for. People who know people, who are connected to people in those professions are more likely to get those jobs. So if you don't have anybody, or if you don't know anybody who's connected to somebody who's a lawyer, a barrister, a judge, works in the court or justice system, it's pretty hard to get in. Unless you obviously just want to work at your magistrate's court or your crown court, at the local crown court. Again, it's up to you. Sometimes you do get a lot of rejections even for those jobs. I hate to say even, but yeah, you do get rejections for those jobs. So you have got to keep pushing if you really want to pursue law. Another reason I wrote down is that you have to understand that if you're pursuing law, there is a price to pay financially. For those of you who are who want to be a solicitor, example, there was a time in the UK, I think maybe 4 years ago, that you couldn't get a student loan for the legal practice course, the LPC. It's only recently changed. I believe it's 3 or 4 years ago. They didn't, because of the student loans company in the UK, Student Finance England, they only gave loans at a time for master's programs, which is 180 credits, instead of a postgraduate diploma, which the LPC is. And that's, I believe is 120 credits or more. Yeah, thereabout. Obviously the laws changed now and they're offering loans too. So what a lot of universities did was get around it by doing the LLM LPC, which is an option. So for those of you who want to do the solicitor route, try and find Student Finance England, and know what university you want to go to. Make sure that the tuition falls within the range of the money that they're gonna give you, and try and do your LPC in the meantime. Even if you don't use your LPC immediately, try and pass it. It's a very, very stringent course. Like, I don't know if stringent is the right word, but it's quite difficult, and you need to allocate a lot of time and attention and dedication and commitment to it. I don't want to go into that one because I attempted it and I didn't do very well, to be honest with you. Yeah, I ended up quitting it. I lost my job as well. That was a painful situation for me, but basically I couldn't afford it, so I ended up having to leave it. But if you want to do that, honestly, try and look up some information with Student Finance England. You can get up to, I believe, 10,000 for it to do the LPC, and after you do the LPC, you can try and land a training contract with a firm, in-house lawyer, whatever. Just do your research. It's a lot of work, and if you really want to do law, honestly, I think you should keep going, even if it means like 10, 15, 20 years that it would take for you to be able to get there. Obviously, in the meantime, try and demonstrate commitment to a legal career by doing things that are related to law, or working in firms that have a law angle, or even maybe social work. Those are also areas that you can get into. But I think keeping your career in perspective, and having that law at the background, or sort of reflected on your CV the whole time, is a good indication to recruiters and future employers that you're still committed to the journey of pursuing law. So I believe that's all I have to say about it. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head anything that I've missed out so far, but these are some of the lessons that I have learned so far, and I wish somebody would have told me, because I came from a family where I was literally, like, my nuclear family, that is, I was literally the first person who went off to uni. My sister ended up finishing uni before me, but that's because I failed the module and I had to reset it. There's a lot of stories that are failure stories that I've got to tell you lot, but yeah, so for anyone who's watching this, if you want to pursue law, if you want to I don't know, put your degree to use, I would encourage you take it and take into consideration some of these factors that I've spoken about. Prepare, challenge yourself, keep going, keep pushing. If you really, really want to pursue it, do not give up, because if you give up, or you give and throw in the towel, somebody else benefits from the opportunity that you've left dormant, okay? Or you've left hanging, I should say. Yeah, for those of you who don't want to do law, it's your opportunity to spot other opportunities. Delve into social work, delve into teaching, delve into administration, schoolwork, university work. You can even pursue a master's, do a PhD, and become a lecturer. Again, there's a lot of things in that area. It's a lot of I don't want to say politics, and a lot of hard work and literally grunt. Is that the word? Yeah. In that area. So again, that's another area of work that is waiting for you. Whatever you choose, you're gonna have to work anyway. So just a heads up for those of you who are listening. Yeah. So that's about it. I hope this video is really helpful to somebody. I promise you, I wish I'd heard some of these things that I know now, if I knew them back then, before when I started uni. So yeah, I hope this is going to be useful to somebody, and as always, I'll see you in the next one, and good luck to those of you who are doing your who are currently studying law at uni, preparing for your exams and your dissertations and whatnot. So yeah, I'll speak to you later, as always. Bye people.